What is up, everybody? You know what it is. Another episode of Black Monday. We're almost to the finale. This is the finale eve. So Blair does the Georgina shuffle. Keith does his best to flush down the SEC, and Mo pulls out the rock on Dawn. Let's go. Let's get it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hey,
Yo, it's Black Monday. Even though it's Sunday, but we covered Black Monday because that's how we do it. AfterBuzz TV.
Because
What's up,
we're
y'all? That part. Ladies and gentlemen, we just like to have a good time. I am your host, Lim Gonzalez, aka the sexiest uncle alive. That's just what we're doing today.
Agreed. I concur.
Next to me is my squad, gang in the house. So directly to my left is the incomparable, the amazing, the wonderful Angel Taylor. Auntie Angel. Okay.
Your auntie now.
Okay. And she's got the mouth from the East Coast, all the way from DC. They can still hear her in DC because that's how it goes down. But it's Kitty Kaboom in the building, bomb status. That's how we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, second to last episode of the season. It's getting down to the wire. This title of this episode is 2 days. So we got 2 days before the infamous Black Monday. So we're right there. So what did you all think about this episode right here?
It was very insightful, and I'm still trying to figure things out because it's like I don't want to think the worst case scenario, which is what they're implying. I want there to be another twist to where whatever they came to conclusion about this episode is wrong. Please be wrong. I love Blair. I can't.
We gonna talk about it.
I just can't.
I think Blair's
think that, baby.
Blair didn't turn over to the dark side.
Disagreeing.
I'm just saying he didn't turn.
Opinion, and I don't
But
know,
Blair's
baby.
my boo.
Not for long.
Here's the thing. I thought it was very insightful as well. I have to co-sign that one.
Yes.
But I really, you know what it was? It was less entertaining. Like most of the time, we hone in on the jokes and the great one-liners and the zingers and the comebacks, and they're all excellent, and they were just as good this week. But they made sure to know, like, we about to be at the finale, so let's hurry up and get all this information in. I just feel like they squeezed a whole lot of what we needed to know and the layers of it, or the what do you call it? When insinuations or the alluding to. They never really flat out said some things, so there was a lot of guessing going on. It was a great episode because you had to pay attention.
Let's call this episode The Great Reveal.
The great reveal.
Okay.
It was a lot going on.
Okay.
And then Tiff finally got the inside scoop.
And she was okay with
And
this,
she was
surprisingly.
down.
I expected her to throw a hissy fit.
So that being said, because this was up for much debate, as we were watching the episode. So we see that Blair tells Tiff essentially the Georgina play.
Right.
And initially it was like, oh, okay, he's playing the game, right? Because of course it seems like he's with Don. He's happy with Don. This marriage is a sham. It's all for the sake of him being able to, play the Georgina play, basically get the money, and everybody gets paid.
Exactly.
Right.
However, that's what we see at the beginning.
The actual Georginas.
Exactly. But then we see him talking to Tiff, and he basically goes in when she's getting ready for the wedding and basically, tells her the whole thing. And then she's like, oh, okay. Because his whole thing is initially we see, we're going to jump around, but it's cool. We initially see that, there's some paperwork, right? That comes up.
Right.
And he basically has something for her, but she's like, yo, I got something for you. And it's a prenup. We know what a prenup does. So if he signs this prenup, then he's entitled to nothing, right? He has a little piece of paper, which is a power of attorney, which would give him right to sign over on documentation and all of that. But I think the whole flip is basically, we think initially, the audience, that, okay, he's trying to trick her so he doesn't have to sign the prenup. We got it. However, that's not what it is.
It's a little deeper.
According to what I believe, Angela's looking like she's very disappointed because she didn't want to believe that her dude Blair is going to go over. But we see at the very end when he starts talking about shares, Blair's very smart.
Very smart.
Like I'm not like Team Blair like you know, and our friend Shay is, but I feel like Blair is definitely very smart. I feel like he is very, very smart. He knows what he's doing. He's very calculated. And he also learned a lot from Mo. He's not as crass as Mo, but he definitely has learned a lot as far as how to buck the system.
Right.
And I feel like that being said, when he said, I need 6%, and both started doing the calculations with the little whipped cream situation.
Right.
He like, oh, I'll be.
That was the ranch.
That was
Oh, ranch. Sorry. I know it was white.
Whipped cream.
Yeah. I knew it was a white substance. My bad. My bad. Golly. It was a food type of situation.
But it was whipped cream.
Anyway.
They call him Uncle.
Anyway.
Damn.
Oh, gosh. Stop it. Ranch dressing. Bottom line is he figured out through that he would be a minority owner because of the other Don's portion and then the other portion that's kind of already out.
Right.
So, Angel,
The Lehman Brothers portion.
Right, exactly. Do you agree with that? Or do you feel like Blair is still on Team Mo and Team Don?
I think there's going to be some missing piece of the puzzle. And you can quote me later because I know I'm right.
Because I will. I definitely will.
There will be a missing piece of the puzzle that we'll get next episode that will redeem him from this shameful persona you have placed on my man.
On her man.
Well,
Wait a minute.
wow, it got to her man.
No.
Babe.
I'm just saying, now that I know he's in the Black Girl.
Hilarious. Okay, but wait. Based on the previews for next episode, it doesn't seem like he's recanting at all. It seems like what we believe is what's happening.
Can I just say that there was a moment there when we kind of looked at each other, you and I, and were just like, what is happening right now? There was a little bit of confusion, and you pegged it. You hit it right on the head. You were like, no, it's got to be. Because at the end of the day, what appears to be Blair's motivation or what you think he's going for after it's been revealed that Mo has told him everything and he's down for the Georgina play. It's like, no, if I'm going to go for the Georgina play, I got a whole lot of layers to this. You know what I mean? I'm getting it all the way in. So not only am I going to do this, but it's not going to be for you. It's definitely going to be for me because I learned to say F you. And I done learned how to play the game. So I'm one up on you. This not even I love the line that he said before he walked away. This is not a negotiation. You talking about 1%. I said, you're giving me 6 for the 6 that I'm giving you. Got it? Okay.
6 for 6. It only makes sense.
It only makes sense. But we talking about Mo here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And once he does the math with the ranch, he sees that it's not in his, in his best.
He will become a minority. He can lose his company, basically.
And
He becomes a minority. He doesn't want to do that.
Of course.
All right. So let's get into the top of the episode. So at the top of the episode, we see Tiff's music video, if loosely is what we're going to call that, which is like
a tragedy.
A tragedy. Oh, you just made up a word.
Right, you just
made up a word on the spot. That's cool. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. A tragedy. Y'all, copywritten. It was here. You heard it here first.
Kelly from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, she was doing Kelly Kapowski.
Yes.
Wow.
Y'all had to get specific.
Wow.
Like
She did a parody. Yeah, she did a parody of I Think We're Alone Now. And it was at their rehearsal dinner of all places, which I'm like, yo, you're gonna do that at a rehearsal dinner?
Exactly.
Interesting. So she does that, at the rehearsal dinner. And then Mo is kind of like still feeling like, Don is into Blair, that they're like an item. Of course, he's upset. No, they're not. Of course, he's upset because, Mo still has love for Don and he's feeling some kind of way.
Does he really love Don? Does he?
Yes, he does.
Does he, though?
I've said this from day one.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
He absolutely, and...
Only a man would have to understand the way Mo's mentality works in terms of love. Like, only they would
Does
be able
Blair really
to...
love Don?
Blair? No, absolutely not.
Wow.
No, absolutely not. Mo loves Don. And
That's
the reason
to
why...
be determined.
And I'll tell you why.
Episode.
And I'll tell you why. No, not even next episode.
Can you give us next episode, please?
Okay, it's going to be more revealed, but I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I feel like he's in love. It's because throughout the entire episode, he kept, bringing up this whole ring scene. I was going to propose to you. It was going to be on horseback. She's like, we ain't never been on no horses or whatever. And he's like, well, we were going to. And all this kind of stuff. And she just thinks he's full of crap, right? You keep saying that. You keep saying that. And then we see towards the end of the episode, he digs in his little drawer and pulls out the ring that he was going to give her.
How convenient.
Right. But it wasn't. But exactly. And the whole thing is because you got to think about it. This is why I know Blair is now going on the dark side, because now he's like, yo, we have to band together. We need to band together because this is the only way it's going to work, and we still come out on top. And it all makes sense because Mo has always had love for Don. Mo is a jerk. We can all agree that Mo's a jerk.
Yeah.
And I think, when we were like, oh, Blair likes Don, Blair's really cool, and da-da-da-da, and, Don was in the little nasty relationship with, Spence.
Little did we know.
Right.
Why is he calling the relationship
Nasty. It wasn't
marriage?
Marriage. Okay,
that was
right.
marriage.
Right.
Not
Okay.
nasty.
That they were both walked into.
What I mean is
Yes,
that they did not see eye to eye, which is why she left him.
Right.
Did she not leave him? Absolutely.
I mean, she said she
Lim
wanted a
thinks
divorce,
Spencer
and
is
we ain't seen
nasty,
them.
and that's why he called the relationship nasty.
No, when I say nasty, I'm just saying like it wasn't meant to
nasty
be.
break.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't meant to
understand where
be.
you're going with
That's
it.
what I mean.
Okay.
This one over here, she just doesn't want to, reality. That's what she doesn't want. She's not into reality
It
right
doesn't
now.
work with her.
Right, exactly.
Right now.
So my thing is, this is why I feel like Mo is definitely in love with Don. And come the final, I'm going to give you to the last episode. Season finale's next week. And we're going to see what happens. But I guarantee, I'm going to put a stamp, guarantee, I'm going to look in the camera, guarantee that Mo and Don are going to be together in the end. That's what's going to happen. Boom. That's what's going to happen.
I can kind of see that. I kind of see it happening. The
Mm-hmm.
fact of the matter is, when she said those fatal words, which were fatal only to Mo, that you don't know how to love.
Exactly.
That effed him up. Like, that kind of messed up his mind. He was
Right.
like, what do you mean?
But
I can be
he does
vulnerable.
not.
I know how to love. He does know how. We all have that ability to know how. He got turned over by homegirl. Remember, she screwed him. Right? And so that's what turned his mind. But my point is, prior to, he was a good guy. And he was about his business in terms of helping his own people, his community. You know what I mean? Power to the people, Black Panthers, all that good stuff.
Exactly.
Come on now.
Which
He
you
was
saw in
down
last
for-
episode.
Exactly.
In
He
last
was down
episode.
for the good causes. Something happened with homegirl that, something. I say that loosely.
Right.
He was almost locked up.
Right.
Or he was locked up based on her assertions of what went down with them.
He was duped.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
was duped and he never let go of it. But when he found someone of Dawn's caliber that he was like, this could be my forever, I think he genuinely wants that to be his forever. Not that he would be a good husband, but just that's
Terrible.
what,
Right.
I mean, but that is what I can see that's what he wants. I think that's
And
what he
Jill, just to piggyback off of what the incomparable Kitty Kaboom just said,
I cannot stand him.
we saw they did a whole episode on what happened in the past.
Yeah.
With him being in the Black Panther. Why do a whole episode of that if that wasn't
that
important?
wasn't who that was.
That was extremely important to
It
show
was.
what Mo really was until
And at the very end, to see Blair check his earth.
Who he
Who
was
saw that coming?
and who he is are two different
Of
things.
course they are, love, but the point is that he's been this person. We've seen countless, again and again, in that episode at least, that he knows how to revert to being a good guy. Like, that's who he is at his core. He changed that. He made a conscious decision to say, I don't want to live that life anymore. Will nobody be able to get over on me again, because I'm going to be a cutthroat, take no prisoners,
That part.
no holds barred,
that part.
a-hole.
That part.
From here on in.
Hallelujah.
But that's not to say that he can't go back to that.
That's what you just said.
No.
He
But,
said
but,
that
but it's not.
That's who I
it's
am
not
now.
irreversible. It's not reversible. I mean, irreversible. He can do this. Listen. I believe that he genuinely loves Dawn too. No, I'm just saying, and it could happen. I mean, if we're giving predictions, I don't know. This is a little early in the
No,
show to be
don't
doing
give
so.
the prediction.
All right, well, we won't get into it. But the point is that I think that is in him, and he has the ability to pull it out his ass if he wants to.
Wait until next episode.
There we go.
We're gonna see it. We're gonna see the
It's
reveal.
telling. Yes.
Exactly.
It's telling.
Before we move on to our next topic, Kitty Kaboom has something to say about AfterBuzz TV.
All right. Before we move on to the next topic, because we're getting there, we just want to say thank you sincerely for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. For us to continue to grow, we do need your help, though. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, please. Give us ratings on iTunes, please. And leave us a comment. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to me because I honestly love coming here every day. I love my panel. I love the show we do. And at the end of the day, these people set you up for success. So I'm super grateful to be here. So thank you for all supporting us and doing what we absolutely love. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Hallelujah.
Right.
It is Sunday.
It is Sunday.
Even though we're talking about Black Monday.
Loving the Lord.
Boom. All day, every day. So this is another reason why I feel like Blair is really what we use now is trolling, right? They didn't have that back in the 80s, but he was trolling. He was trolling Mo. We see them when they kind of all in the office and they're talking about the Georgina play and they're talking about how they're going to spend their money and all this kind of stuff. And Don and Blair like kikiing and all this kind of stuff. And Blair gives everyone replica Mo watches, right? And we see calls them Molexes. Molexes.
I like
right?
that. So clever.
But all of that, you got to understand that this is all for points. And this is all in my mind. And I'm looking at it like Blair is flexing on Mo.
Oh, yeah.
He's asserting himself as the alpha male in this relationship. Because when we first saw Blair, right, he was duped. He was tricked into becoming, signing on to Mo. It was all a ploy. He really didn't want him there. Like, he was, having him shredding. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, when he should have been, everyone else was off. So this is Blair asserting himself now that he knows. Do you see what I'm saying?
The big picture.
Exactly. He's asserting himself and like, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make Mo look stupid. I'm going to get everybody watches just like Mo. Amazing replicas. And that's what's going to happen. And so he does that and Mo's upset. But again, it's all for a reason. They talk about the Georgina play and then he tells them about the prenup. He's like, there's this little situation, but I'm going to take care of it. Then we also see our buddy Keith, right? That he's in bed with the SEC. Remember, they came at him.
Buddy.
Right.
Keith is a mess.
Well, I don't feel like he had a say in this one.
He didn't have a choice.
He didn't have a choice.
He definitely was pushed up against the wall.
And he was definitely trying to not give them anything.
But there's always a choice. And
he did the magnet, and because like
he ended up throwing it back in their face. Like, listen, I tried, but not really. And I don't care what y'all do to me. I'm over it.
Yeah,
that was a choice. That was a general like.
Well, I think that was kind of stand up of Keith because Keith totally could have ratted them out and could have saved his ass.
You're right.
Like by himself. No, what he did was he made it an environment where they couldn't get any information. He got the magnet and he would cough and sneeze and do whatever he needed to do to make sure that the wrong things were not heard. Right. So I felt like he was a game player. Like he took one for the team.
Absolutely.
This time.
Yeah, but let's be clear. He took one for the team to save his own ass. Like he didn't do it out of pure adulation for the rest of his homegirls and homeboys.
You don't think so? Like, what did he save though? Because if you think about it, if you really think about it, the whole point of taking the wire is that if I do this, it's not going to get out about my orientation. My family's going to be spared.
Right.
All is going to be good.
Right.
But I think, this is what I think.
Yeah.
I think that he thought about it, which is why, even with getting the wire, he sabotaged the whole situation.
Of course.
So they couldn't get any information. And at the end of the day, he threw the wire back in their face.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
he said, go tell him.
Exactly. So he's like, so he didn't really save anything regarding him.
He didn't, but at the end, but he kind of did.
He initially wanted to.
His balls have become so big that he's at this point. I don't even care. He doesn't genuinely care about his wife. Unfortunately, he don't genuinely care about his kids.
He cares about his image.
He cares about his image and who he is.
Right.
As portrayed or as interpreted by other people.
Sure.
So with that being said, he gave them the middle finger because he was like, you know what? I think he's calling their bluff, to be honest with you. I think he's like, you've been stringing me along and trying to get this information.
Absolutely.
You keep threatening stuff, but you ain't did nothing. So at the end of the day, you're not going to do anything, no matter what I say or do. And this is a party, and I'm about to go do some coke.
And I think that I actually got more respect for Keith just in this moment because Keith has been all about himself and then, with his boyfriend and then not telling his, you know what I'm saying? Just stringing everybody along, right? And I think when he did this and we see him take the wire, the fact that he sabotaged it, my favorite part of the entire episode was when he was in the bathroom and he's literally, I thought that was hilarious. Mo is trying to, Mo is really trying to talk to him about the whole play and he's like, I got
so mad that Mo is so like so self-consumed that he wasn't
He's
picking
oblivious.
up these.
He was oblivious.
Oh, he's completely oblivious.
He was oblivious.
Because he's at the highest of pistivity right now. You know what I mean? He is pissed beyond. He didn't see any of this coming. He thought he had it all figured out. He's the one that ignited everybody to get behind this whole Georgina play.
Right.
So he's the mastermind. So for him to be frazzled is not his, like, he's not comfortable in that space.
Right.
He's used to being the overseer of all that is and making it all make sense.
Right.
So the moment that he's pushed out of his comfort zone, he's just like,
Right.
you know what I mean? What
I
do
never
do?
heard Mo make so many criminal references.
Right.
I'm like, how convenient that he's just laying it all out on the table when he's not supposed to.
Right.
No, for sure.
You gotta love that.
But yeah, that part was super funny. We do see that this bleeds into the actual wedding ceremony, which, you know, is a sham. We find out that Blair's last name is Pfaff. And so...
Yeah, I don't think I ever picked up on that before.
I don't think it ever came up. And then the fact that, you know, he was going to take... It's like
Now
Mr. and
he's
Mrs.
Mrs.
Georgina.
Georgina, right.
I thought that was hilarious.
That's crazy.
Also, we see that their first dance is to the Star Spangled Banner. And
What is that about? And you
Dude.
noticed that early on.
Yeah.
All she wears is red, white, and blue.
Right.
Yeah.
What is that about? What do you think that
Well,
represents?
the interesting part is it talks about being Republicans, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
And so
they said her parents are super Republican.
super Republicans,
Okay.
which makes sense because they're rich, and typically people that are Republicans lean over to the 1%, and so they would fall into that category.
Right.
But one of the things, and this is going to take us into our special segment, one of the things that we did see when she was doing the dance is she had these shoes on that brought us back to the 80s.
Yes.
So, yes, special segment time.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Hey, let's get it. Hey.
Yes. So, I'm going to ask Bree to put up the image on the screen. So these were, and I'm going to divert to Kitty because I didn't even know they were called these.
Yes, baby.
Kitty, tell us what these were called back in the day.
Back in the day, I used to work at Lady Foot Locker. Not that matters, but I just thought throw it out there. That's how I kind of know. But around the way, everybody referred to these shoes as 5411s and not 5411s, people. Let's be clear. 5411s is how you said it because the shoes cost, with tax, $54.11.
That's crazy.
So that was the reference whenever we would, and they were hot. Like, these shoes were big, yo. You don't understand. We didn't wear them for aerobics. Just like we don't wear tennis shoes to play tennis, okay? Black folks like them some kicks, and they don't necessarily have to go along with the sport associated with them. So, yeah, it was a big deal. 5411s was everything. We had them in every color, neon. It was a huge deal.
Well, they came in every color. They literally came in, like, I mean, every color imaginable. It kind of reminds me, like, you see Van, like, I'm a big fan of Vans.
Yes.
He is the pattern king. He got the pattern though. Ain't nothing solid.
Is that right?
Ain't nothing solid.
But yeah, Vans, if you see Vans, they come in every single color imaginable, every single pattern, every single whatever. And so these were kind of like, you know, preceded those, and you get them in every color. And you mentioned Roblox or aerobics.
Aerobics, yeah.
Reeboks is the title of the brand of the shoe.
Right.
But we would see them, and if you look at some of the 80s movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like they had to do aerobics.
Or like the workout videos.
Exactly.
Workout videos were huge in the 80s.
Huge in the 80s.
Yes.
And they would be wearing those type of shoes.
Not just those type.
Right.
Those
Reebok
5411s.
shoes.
Exactly.
Gotta have the 5411s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they were
Exactly.
always solid white.
And maybe this is doing too much, but it wouldn't be me if I didn't. This term that I can remember, it was from the hood definitely, but it was from cats that were into medicinal sales as their livelihood. Do we all understand where I'm coming from
we
here?
do.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, they used to boast that they could just buy their girls. You know what I'm saying? The
5411s.
different, the jump offs that they had. Everybody got a pair of 5411s. It was like a little, like a prize.
Kind of like the Jordans
There we
of
go.
right now.
The Jordans of right now.
Got it. Makes sense.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Okay.
I definitely remember them. You know, and they were huge. I think it was dope. Like I said, I'll always love this show because they definitely bring it back. And we see Tiff wearing them, doing her little nasty
doing her
dance.
thing. She was
like,
killing
oh
it.
my
There
gosh.
you go with that word again, doing that little nasty dance.
It was just so. I'm like you, but it was funny because it literally was the start. And I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, "Is
Wait
this
a
the
minute.
national anthem?"
Right, is that
and
what
then
we're listening
and then
to?
right after I said that, that was said on the show. It's like, this is the national anthem.
And he walks out with the flag, though. I could not. And wasn't that the perfect person to do it, though? This guy is obviously not American. I believe he's of Indian descent. And he shows up.
And he's the one that comes out.
And he's the one, right.
And that was done purposely. That was done purposely, obviously.
I loved it.
So ignorant.
Yeah, so after that, this is when we see the Blair flex that I like to call it, right? And this is when he tells Mo in the ranch that he wants 6% of the Jammer group. And Mo's like, absolutely not. Like, are you tripping? You know, I'll give you 1%. And then he doesn't really understand. He's like, well, 6% for 6%. Let's do that. And Mo, like, you know, he makes the calculation. And that's when, as I mentioned before, he would become a minority owner. And Blair knows this, which is why I came up with that number.
Layers.
And so Mo's like, he can't do it. Even though, you know, Miss Angel is not still convinced. Maybe by next episode she will be. And so Tiff basically tells Mo, and this is when we really know, it really sets in for me. Because for the longest time when I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, is he playing Tiff, you know, because he's really with Mo and the company,
right?
And you know, and this is what he's doing to make sure he has it happen. But then we see Tiff come over to Mo. She's faded, right?
Of course.
And she's basically like, Mo, it's okay.
I'm in on it.
I know about the Junior play. And then says Blair is gay, which was like out of nowhere. Crazy.
Right.
And so, and that whole thing was basically to show a sham of their marriage. Like, oh, this is all a sham. We're going to make this happen, da-da-da-da. What did you guys think when she said that? You obviously weren't convinced still, but were you convinced at that point?
I definitely wasn't convinced, and I'm still kind of scratching my head. Like, where did that come from?
Right.
Why would she think that his chubby is bubbly?
Oh, I was
talking
about the convinced about, not that part.
Oh, I'm sorry.
About that fact that.
That's what I was talking about.
No, the fact.
I thought that's what he's referencing.
No. The fact that Blair and Tiff are in on it together.
Oh, I thought that was dope.
Oh, yeah.
Tiffany's a bad mamma jamma. See, this again, the great reveal, right? We see who they really, 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 really are in this episode. I don't think that I would have ever assumed that she was smart enough to deduce that this is this and this is that, and I'm gonna go ahead and play along because my parents have screwed me all the way around, and I want my coin too. Right. I deserve my piece of this pie. If you're gonna take from my family, let me be the one that spearheads this whole project. I didn't see that coming.
Right.
I didn't think she had it in her. She doesn't seem to be smart enough.
The me play, so she knew that everything would flow through her into everyone else that she decides to flow to.
But did you see her being able to pull that off? Like, I didn't expect. She just doesn't. She's not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
She's really smart, and she's all about
Clearly,
money.
But I didn't
all
see
about
that.
money, though. I didn't think Blair was all about money, to be honest with you. I still don't think
he didn't start that.
He wasn't that way initially. He got made into that way.
He's just like, okay. Because, like, you have to think about how mad he was initially once he found out what they were doing to him. Like, Mo specifically, when Mo told him what the play was, he was genuinely upset.
Yeah.
So for him to come back around, of course he's going to have a play in the back of his head to kind of like be like, okay, got you back. Okay, I get that. But I still don't think his intention is malicious.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think he has malicious intent.
Yeah, I don't think he has malicious intent, but I think that he will take a
He's trying to take that money.
Right, like, let's be
clear. He's trying to take that money. I don't think he wants necessarily anybody to go to jail or anything like that, but Blair wants to get paid.
Yeah, as he should.
He wants to get back at them. I think it's more about the power than it is about the money.
I think they're equal footing,
to be honest with you. But that's interesting you say that, because I feel like he doesn't care about the power per se. I think that he looks at it as he's worked, hard in college. He's done this. He knows his wife comes from money. We saw at the beginning of this, like, she would always talk about money. He's just like, oh, but baby, I just want to.
Exactly. That's why he doesn't care about money.
No, but that was then. Exactly. This is now.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Him hanging around, he's had so many Mo sessions, that he's hung out with Mo, and he kind of finds out now, because he does want to be in this industry.
Right.
Like, let's keep it real. He wants to be in, he has
studied
that
hard,
formula.
He got his degree. This is what he wants to do.
And so because of that, he wants to now be number one in the industry. And now it's like, let me take out Mo, because if you think about it, when he said, and this was very telling that I saw, when he was like, yo, I did my research, and he was talking about when Mo took him to the restaurant.
That was so sexy. That
and he
whole
was just
interchange.
and he said basically, like, I did my research, found out it's only been around 2 years, and then I even researched more.
Right, and then I did more research.
And then I found out that you really
didn't even exist before 1974,
so,
bro.
So if you really want to know what's cracking, I can really shut you all the way down.
Okay, all the way down. Don't mess with me.
So that's why I'm saying he has joined the dark side.
Yes.
He is now Blair X.
He's Vader.
And now it's
He's
going
Darth
down.
Vader. He's Darth Vader.
Okay, so we have someone that kind of agrees with you in the chat here.
Not kind of,
I'd
I'm
love
sure.
to hear it.
I'm gonna just give you a little sprinkle of credit, okay?
Give me
We
some
have
sprinkles.
Alonzo Wilkins in the chat with us. He said Blair has fully gone to the dark side. He also says that he loves us and we make the show
Is
even
that
more
him? I love you guys.
entertaining.
Aww.
Yeah, he loves us.
We love you back, baby.
Yes, and he also says Tiffany betraying her family is something I didn't like. It isn't it's not in her character.
Well,
And
it is
I
now.
think her character is even more like rogue than Blair. Like I don't think she's a good person.
Well,
period.
At the end of the day, we are how we've been raised to be, unless we make a conscious decision to be otherwise. And she was raised on white privilege and the understanding that we have money, therefore you shall benefit from that. And everything that has come about. Even look at her; she's in love with the man that clearly doesn't love her back the way she wants to be loved, and is a huge disappointment to her parents. That's not who they wanted her to marry.
Right.
Come on now, she's the heir to like a huge or. What they before they got her kidnapped, they was failing. But overall, Georgina Jeans appears to be like a big deal. You know what I mean? So it makes sense that she would be of that mindset until she met Blair and his cohorts and saw that there could be a different way to play this thing. You know what I mean? It's almost like everybody is getting what they need from Mo.
Well, it's almost like it's kind of like she's been awakened in a sense, because when Blair is telling her, like, look, we can do this. And at first she's like, no, why would I do that?
Right.
But then he's like, yo, they kidnapped you.
Okay.
They kidnapped you to build the
magazines.
business for, what happened, to make sure that their shares increase. So they did that to you. They put you in that situation. You need to get back at them. And that's how he was able to kind of convince her, among other things, to then let's do this Georgina play. Let's get paid and then screw your parents.
You know what? I don't really like how they jump to, like, they skip so many days just to take it to this point 2 days before Black Monday. Because I wanted to know how they recovered Tiffany. Like, did they just give her back? Like,
There's so many questions.
Was she left in an alley somewhere? Like, who had her? What happened? Like, can you let the viewers know what happened? Everybody else may not know what happened, but give us a hint. Like, throw us something.
A bone. I find this super interesting, and I love that you are so interested in it. Like, you want all the details. Every week you're like, wait a minute, they glossed over
Give
it.
me the
I mean,
nooks and
it's
crannies
TV,
of the
babe. They can
situation.
only get in so much. So there's a lot of insinuation here.
I get that. They
But you need
surely
to
should have
know.
stretched just to 1 hour versus 30 minutes.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
you would still have even more of a following.
Yeah,
like, if
no
you
question.
Did that, because
But there are a lot of
got
unrealistic
questions.
things, and we do have questions. But at the end of the day, we got to remember this, like what TV is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They can only fit in so much in 30 minutes. They have to kind of allude to certain things and make inferences, as opposed to actually stretching it out and giving it a storyline. They got to hit beats, babe. They got to hit them
I'm
beats.
just saying, can you flush it out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously
They ain't fleshing nothing.
They hit the the important things. And if the show was longer, definitely we would probably get that. But we went from 63 days to 2 days.
To 2
Right.
So we literally
Crazy.
like
So it's
shaved
going
off 2
down.
months. So I mean, and that's just what it is.
And then Dawn and Blair calling each other babe and
Right.
having
Yes, and just
PDA
be in
stuff.
front of everybody.
And I'm just like, oh,
okay.
Right.
You and me both, girl.
Right. So at the end, we do see that Tiff gives Blair the infamous tie pin, which keeps, of course,
This
every
is the
episode.
other
moving.
one.
Right.
Keeps
This
it
is the
moving.
other typing.
Other tie pin.
Right, 'cause-
Not the initial one that's been passed from hand to hand. This is the other one.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
See, I
you
didn't
guys
catch
didn't catch that.
I didn't.
No.
She said, "Well, I'm gonna give you," because remember, Keith's boyfriend has the first one.
That's right.
Keith gave his boyfriend the first
That's
one.
right.
She said, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and give you this other one because it is proven to have such good luck." So
Good point.
Right. Which then, of course, we
Mostly
know
on
comes
that.
up for the person that ends up falling out of the window. Onto
We
the
can't.
car.
I can't wait to
Right,
find out who
right.
that finally
Which
is.
we'll finally find
Blair.
out what that is.
Yes.
You think it's Blair?
Yes.
Maybe Spencer will come back up in a
Oh,
jealous
gosh,
rage.
Stop it. Spencer is
Here,
done.
take this type
Spencer
in.
is done.
Spencer's a
And go
wrap.
kill
It's not
yourself.
Him and his hips. Spencer
Right.
and his hips.
Oh, wow.
They out of here, baby.
Wait. According to Lim, nasty Spencer's coming up.
Right. Yeah, he's terrible. All right, let's get into predictions. Let's do
Yes,
that.
let's do it.
that
Let's
part.
do it.
Let's do that part. Predictions. All right.
That was his singing debut, girl.
90s jacket.
well, you know, don't
We
hate.
might as well get
Don't hate.
married.
Wow. What does it sound like? It wasn't mean to sound good, but anyway, I digress.
I love it, love
All right, so we're getting into the season finale of this episode, or the series, excuse me. And I just really want to know because this is like the end of all predictions, right? So, Kitty, starting with you.
I predict that, just like you, I know you don't want to hear this, babe, but I see Mo and Dawn finally seeing the light. Because think about it. She was all about Blair. She was willing to go to bat for this cat.
According to you guys, they saw the light in this episode.
No, she until Mo called her in the office and said, "Sit down, let me tell you something," and then proceeded to disclose all the dirt that he had and all the information he had, turning her against Blair. Whereas opposed to, 2 seconds before that, she was Team Blair, right? So I totally see her coming. It's going to take a minute. I don't think that they're genuinely going to like be a couple or anything next episode. I just think that the idea that she is stored away and forgotten about and said, Mo is not even worthy of my time. I think that she's going to allow herself to be wooed and see what, explore that possibility.
Woo.
Yeah, Spencer ain't going Spencer's gone, so I see that happening, and I see Homeboy taking over. Like he's about to be the king of the Georgina play.
Talking about Blair?
Blair, thank you. Where he was the the underdog at first. Now he about to be boss of all bosses.
Okay.
That's what I think.
How much boss can he be when the market's about to crash?
Well, he don't know that.
They don't know that.
I know,
The
but
boss
I'm just
until it
saying,
crashes,
we got
though.
one episode in 30 minutes,
Right.
so ain't
Yeah.
too much bossing happening in
Well,
the next
in that
episode.
little bit of time, I see him being the boss of all
Okay,
bosses.
you can have boss status five
Right,
minutes.
for 5 minutes.
And then you
Exactly.
gotta flesh out this crash.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was my prediction. This is not a clean cut and dry, like this scenario that you guys have cooked up in your minds. It sounds really sweet and
We have it
easy,
cooked up in our
but it
minds.
ain't easy.
It ain't easy,
There's
baby.
gonna be a plot twist. We're gonna have a ooh and ah moment, and you're gonna find out that Blair is redeemable. Like there is something else going on that we don't have the information about just yet.
Yeah.
To redeem him as good Blair.
I don't know about all that.
Good Blair.
Some things will be revealed. I see that happening because that's what the show kind of does. You know what I mean? It makes sense that they would loosely veil certain things and then bring it to light only later on.
And I think the SEC is going to get what they need.
First of all, the SEC is so goddamn comical. I can't take them seriously. I don't even think they're the real SEC. I think these broads have been bribed to play the part or something. They're so damn corny.
Yeah, it's bad. Okay, so this is the thing. This is what's going to happen. First of all, Dawn and Mo are going to come out on top and rise on top at the end of this. I believe that the person that jumps down into the car is
Jumps
Blair.
or is pushed?
Is put whatever the case is. The person that falls into the car that we've seen, at the beginning of the season.
It can't be Blair.
It's gonna be. I'm just saying. It's gonna be Blair. It's gonna be Blair.
It can't be Blair.
It's gonna be Blair. And then I believe that our man Keith is basically he's going to then assume somehow going to get shares, like he's going to get a percentage of the company.
Oh, yeah.
Because of what Mo is going to find out what he did, the fact that he protected the company and didn't take the company down with the SEC, the goofy SEC. And then I think he's going to get shares as well. And Mo still is going to be the primary shareholder. And then Blair and Tiff down the train. That's what's going to happen.
Down the drain?
Down the drain in the sense that Blair's going to, fall down, and then Tiff is going to lose the Georgina play.
Yeah.
And the Georgina play is going to go to the favor.
South?
No, it's going to go to the favor of Mo and Don.
Ooh.
Yes.
Because Mo and Don are real.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Wait, what happened to her being turned off? Mo, I'm thinking of Blair.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of our viewers says that they're going to leave it open for season 2. And also says that they hope it's one of the twins that fell out the window.
Really?
The Lehman brothers.
Really?
I hope it's one of them. That's a great prediction.
Interesting.
I love that. Who said that? What's the name? What's their name?
Yeah.
Londo?
Alonzo.
Oh, Alonzo's all over it. I'm digging that idea.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, I
shall
think it's going to be the season finale. They got to tell us who comes down from the window. Like, they can't leave that alone. And not to say that it won't be a season 2. I haven't looked that far into it. But the fact that they're leading up to Black Monday, if they did a season 2, it would have to be what happens after Black Monday.
Exactly.
Because everything is leading up to Black Monday.
Right.
So, which not to say it can't happen, but it'd just be interesting to see where they go from there.
It would
I
be
agree.
interesting.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
concur.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. That has been our episode. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, everyone in the live chat. Thank you for keeping the conversation going. And when this goes on YouTube, make sure you keep the conversation going. Comment. Let us know what you think. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Mo and Don are going to stay together? Do you think Blair and Tiff are going to come out on top? What do you think is going to happen? We want to know. Let us know. And also, if you're checking this out on iTunes, make sure you give us 5 stars because everything else doesn't count. That's how it works. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Lim Gonzalez, and you can find me everywhere at Lim Gonzalez. And also, you can check out me and Angel on Monday nights for The Fix every night, 8 p.m. Pacific time. That's how we do it. It goes down. Speaking of Angel Taylor, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere at Angel Taylor _. Also, you can find me at The Walking Dead after show on AfterBuzz.
You watch The Walking Dead? Good for you.
At 9 o'clock
Good
on Mondays.
Nice. Very nice. My name is Kitty Kaboom. That's Kittie. No Y's, baby. I'm my own person. Kaboom. That would be on IG. Kitty Kali on Facebook. And Twitter is, I forget. I think it's Kitty Meow. You'll figure it out. Kitty Kaboom.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll figure it out. Just like you figured out that Mo and Don are going to be together. Because that's what's going to happen.
Amen.
Next week is the finale. Make sure you tune in.
Aye.
We will see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Salud.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV. Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.